Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new playthrough. Today, we are going to be jumping into the world of Baldur's Gate. Now, we are actually going to be jumping into the third installment of Baldur's Gate, and it's totally okay if you've never played 1 or 2 and have no idea of any Dungeons and Dragons or D&D knowledge, or have ever played a Dungeons and Dragons game. Totally not required. This is really sort of an experience of its own with new characters, and it's based in the world, right? So a lot of these concepts, if you are familiar with it, are going to sound familiar, especially for those of you that have played D&D before. But it's a great game, and I really just want to take all of you guys along for the journey. So right now we're just picking our difficulty, not too complex. I have played this game before and made it almost through the entirety of the game, but I want it to be slightly more difficult. So I'm not going to pick normal or balanced, I'll pick tactician. So let's see how it goes. Well, one of the things that you probably noticed about Baldur's Gate is that the graphics are really great. These cinematics are amazing, but you probably have some questions about who that alien using Jedi powers to put a worm in our eyeball was. But we're gonna find that out. Right now, we are going through character customization, and these are origin characters, right? These are the characters that have their own fleshed out stories already, pretty much pathways. I mean, pretty much all of these characters have their own unique pathways, but these characters already have a backstory. Whereas when you do a custom character, you sort of really get into the role playing aspect of the game in a more personal nature. Not to say you can't have that with an origin character, because I've seen many people get really involved in the story of their origin character. But it's just slightly different, right? Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, whenever I get into a game and there's any level of character customization, it gets for real. I mean, honestly, this is going to be the character you're going to be playing throughout the entirety of the game. Um, so yeah, it takes some thought, and just even in context of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, coming up with a character is such a personal part of the journey. It really makes the experience. So a lot of people tend to spend hours in this part. I'm gonna try and save time, but honestly, we'll see how that goes. I do want to show you guys the races, the sub race, all of that good stuff. We have tieflings, elves, drow, half elves, humans, and as you can kind of see as I'm flipping through these characters, there's different perks based off race. Um, these are races that are established within the world of Baldur's Gate. Um, so yeah, it's just something to consider, and a lot of people could spend time going into the depths of all the perks of everything, but for the sake of time and getting through the initial first part, I probably won't. But yeah, I'll let you guys look at that for yourselves as I go through. I want to say for this playthrough, I'm leaning towards a tiefling. Yeah, thinking so. And as you can see with sub races, there's differences, right? You can pick a tiefling, but there's different types of tieflings. As I mentioned earlier, one of the big parts of Dungeons and Dragons is creating your character, because essentially you're creating this whole history for them and determining how they're going to interact with the world around them and the people in it, how the relationships form with members in your party and people in the world. It all has correlation, there's all impact determined by the choices that you make. So, with that being said, I really want to get involved in this playthrough. The first time I did play, I was a human wizard. Humans are very flexible and versatile in the game as far as race benefits. They blend well with other things, but I kind of want to challenge myself, and I want to choose a paladin for my class, for my tiefling. I really want to get involved in the story behind them. Also, not that there's anything wrong with being a human wizard. It's just that I feel like for a first playthrough, a wizard, you can pretty much learn any spell in the game, and being a human is just a very versatile race. So as you saw, I chose a tiefling, not as many perk benefits as other races, but hey. For my subclass here, I do want to choose Oath of Vengeance. I kind of want to go with this like soldier, fighter-esque kind of background. The first playthrough, I may make occasional comparisons, right, between the two, even though you have no context of the first one. I chose like a noble, knowledgeable wizard. So this time I want to go with a little bit of the opposite. I'm just going through these to show you guys, but yeah, so I chose like a noble wizard the very first playthrough. This time I want to pick soldier though. Now, this is interesting. It's interesting to explain. I'm not going to. I will, in the sense that we're allotting points to things that we want. Like starting off right once we enter in the game, how do we want our traits to look? How do we want our ability points to be distributed? And it depends, right? It depends on how you want to play. For this though, I already kind of have a preference on what I want, so I'm not too worried about that. This is the part that's really, really fun, actually creating how your character is going to look.
Where to?
What was that?
It's
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Be wary. This place.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed.
Where to?
What was that?
Let's hope.
Help be.
More of those.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed. I can feel its aura.
What was that?
All right. Yeah, I didn't want to speak through the voices section. I wanted you guys to be able to get a little bit of a feel for how the characters sound like and the voice I was going to pick. But yeah, now we're going to be moving on to the cosmetic features of our character. Traditionally, tieflings are red, but they also come in other colors too. There's different slight variations. Normally they're not human flesh colored, but our character is going to be a little unique in that sense. We're going to be unlike other tieflings in the world. I'm really curious though. I know that I'm creating my character here by myself, but for anybody who's watching, feel free to comment like what your character was or what build you kind of went with. Because I'm curious, right? I'm curious. Everybody does something so different, and no two characters are going to be the exact same. So, yeah. I'm picking the eyes, and I don't know why I feel so picky in this section, but I'm figuring it out. I don't think that I want to do any like tattoos or facial makeup, but I'm definitely going to do piercings though. I don't believe on my first character I had piercings at any point in time, but I'm going to give a little flair. I'm digging it. I feel like it's these ones. Like those. I'm not gonna mess too much around with the lip tint or any of that stuff, but hair for sure. I'm actually kind of feeling this. And it already seems like there's like a highlight in the hair. I actually kind of like that. I'm gonna keep that. Because even though they're not gonna be like a traditional red tiefling, I think even just having a little bit of that still kind of showing in a way, I like that. I mean, of course, and the horns as well show that, but yeah. I actually wonder what horn customization there is. And there we are. Okay. I don't like that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like these are pretty good variations. I wasn't expecting all of this, but I saw one a little bit ago, the no horns look. I kind of like it. Go back to that. And this one, I don't know why. It looks a little evil, but I like it. But I actually think I might go with this one though. I think this can kind of add to the lore a little bit, right? A little bit of the mysteriousness behind the character. And I don't know, it kind of gives me like a Hellboy vibe, kind of. A little bit, in a way. Not the same kind of horns, but maybe could still be that unexpected hero that kind of fights evil and saves humanity, you know? I would say that we are done. So pretty much all D&D characters, all custom characters, they're tabs, right? That's just in the community, it's always been recognized as a tab. However, I am going to change that name, which is also one of the harder things to do after you create a character, for some people like me, because yeah, you're gonna be looking at the name the whole game. I think I'm gonna stick with the 3 letters though, kind of like Tav, but I'm not sure. Maybe like a Val, maybe like Valentine. I don't know, looks like a Val. This is tough, right? Maybe I added that restraint on myself and maybe I shouldn't have, but I think I'll stick with the 3 letters though. I want it to be simple. Yeah. I'm like thinking, I'm giving it any last moments to think that one through. I don't know. We'll do it. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, I forgot. So, yeah. After you create your custom character or you pick your origin character, you get to pick your guardian, and the guardian has an important part to play in the storyline. But yeah, they don't go with you immediately off the jump when you get into the game. They're more so later on, and that's something that has more context whenever we get to it. I'm partially doing randomized just to show you guys like what randomized characters look like and what possibilities are out there whenever you do get super duper creative with your characters. And I'm also kind of just doing it because I want to hop right into the story and show you guys what the game's all about. But yeah, I am gonna put a little bit of thought into this just because we are gonna have to see them throughout the story as well, and
Remarkable.
that requires thought and care. So yeah, even though I'm trying to rush through it, I'm gonna give a little bit of time to this, in the sense that I don't want them to look scary. But yeah, I don't know, sometimes the randomize really helps. Alright, so as you guys can see again, graphics are super awesome. The character design is just really unique. I think it looks super cool. And I hope you guys think that too. I'm not getting paid by Larian, so it actually doesn't matter, but yeah, I just want to show you guys what this game has to offer because I had someone show it to me, and ever since they showed it, it's been super duper awesome, and I've enjoyed my playthrough of it, and that's why I'm here. I'm just spreading it back out there. But yeah, back to character design. I kind of like this short hair look. I'm digging it. All right, let's go. When I tell you this game is a masterpiece, I'm not joking.
My head. Not everyone made it out alive. Someone else got out.
So,
Might be other
the game has
survivors.
begun. We are out in the world. We are now going to start looking for
Where in the
resources.
hells are we?
We are on the Nautiloid. This is an alien ship, and we need to get off of it. As you can see,
Dead.
these octopus people are called mind flayers.
Who was
To give a
inside?
little bit of a context on this, this is what happens whenever you get those little tadpole things in your eyeball. You turn into a mind flayer. So, in that cutscene where they put that in Lae'zel's eyeball and ours, we're infected with it. So our goal is to become uninfected. Fun.
I feel better.
So that restoration pod helps us gather our health back and any points for attacks. Super useful on the Nautiloid, as evidenced by the lack of healing potions. But if you scavenge and you loot, there are definitely heals around, but these restoration pods are free, so it makes them even better. Also, I may use this as an opportunity to end the episode here, so I just want to thank anybody who's out there watching this. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm only doing this because I know we're going to be meeting some characters coming up, and that's going to be its own experience. We kind of navigated character customization. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.